somebody in the last couple of days accused me of being a potato for rating Dan Mullen to be a better coach or higher in my coach's rankings at the time. Can you imagine that?
Well, you're not necessarily a potato, but that was a potato take.
Was that a potato take? That
there
I
was
had a potato
no evidence.
moment?
There was no evidence to back that up. There was literally nothing to point to back that up. Nothing.
Let me go to it. Let me go to
Alabama. Who has better history, Alabama or Georgia?
Alabama.
Okay, that's like me saying Kirby Smart is better than Saban. Yeah, Saban's won a lot more. Saban's beat him head to head, but he's at Alabama.
Well,
I mean, that wouldn't make any sense.
Let me take it to another conference. Let's understand this for a quick second. And I'm not comparing Florida, Georgia, because they have the same resources and ability to recruit players than Northwestern and Ohio State. But I have made the statement that I think Pat Fitzgerald is the best coach in the Big Ten. We do understand that he can't win as much as Ryan Day does at Ohio State. So it's not a fair comparison from that standpoint.
So you're saying that and I like that guy from Northwestern, Pat Fitzgerald. He played there. He's been there forever. He's never leaving. We all know that. But you're saying that if Pat Fitzgerald was the coach of Ohio State for, let's say, the last 10 years, Ohio State would have a better record over the last 10 years than what they had under Urban Meyer and Ryan Day.
Well, Urban Meyer lost the same number of games as Nick Saban in 9 years. It's kind of tough.
Well, and Ryan Day's on
better.
the same. Ryan Day's on that same.
Yes,
Ryan Day's on that same pace. He loses one game a year on average, 1.5 a year, or whatever it is.
Let's get back to Mullen.
You're saying, okay, let's get back to Mullen.
Here's the deal with Mullen.
This is his last year at Florida. This is his last year there. Sorry, Florida fans, cry.
Let me give you my take on Mullen, and I'll see if you have a little bit better understanding where I was at with Mullen. Okay? Okay. This was prior to the 2020 season, I believe, that I made that ranking in the SEC, and I think I placed Kirby at 4, Mullen at 3, behind Saban and Jimbo, if I remember correctly. Okay. Mullen did what he did at Mississippi State. Okay, he comes to Florida. He takes over a team that obviously the roster was much better than 4-7, but they did go 4-7 the year before he got there. And then he goes 10-3, wins a major bowl game, goes 11-2, wins a major bowl game. And then actually after I made that ranking, he did beat Georgia head to head and win the division.
Yes.
Now what
best year he's ever had.
Sure, it is the best year he ever had, other than the wins and losses. But he beat the best opponent that he's beaten and won the division to get to the and they played Alabama really tough in the SEC championship game. Now I have yet to release my SEC coaches rankings for this year, but I'll give a bit of a disclaimer here that most likely I'm going to drop Mullen because of all the buffoonery and the things that I didn't like off the field that he did that is going to affect his program. For the worse, the Missouri game in which he acted like a knucklehead running out on the middle of the field and causing, a bad situation to escalate, dressing up like Darth Vader, like a knucklehead, complaining about the fan noise and the crowd noise at Texas A&M with 22,000 people in the stadium when there's usually 105,000. And then more than anything, the way he treated that bowl game and the excuses and treating that like a scrimmage and not trying to get his team up to at least give a decent effort against Oklahoma. I didn't like any of that. So I at least get to reevaluate these coaches every year when I give these rankings.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. There's no year-to-year ranking that's set in stone. I mean, clearly these things are fluid, just like a top 25 poll that was out last year isn't going to be the same as it is this year, or whatever the case. But I still don't think there was any evidence prior to the 2020 season that Dan Mullen was a better coach than Kirby Smart. I just, averaging 8 wins a year at Mississippi State, I don't see how that makes somebody better than a guy who had, at the time, 3 straight division titles, an SEC title, a playoff appearance, a playoff win, and then at the time, 2 straight New Year's Six Bowl appearances. I don't think there was any evidence before the 2020 season he was there. But anyway, that's why these are all opinions. And again, this is why we love college football. Top 25 polls. Everything is subjective. Nothing is objective. That's what separates college football from the NFL. That's why we love college football. So, yeah, and I was just kidding when I called you a potato. You're
I know that.
People.
I'm good with that.
And you're the smartest college football guy on YouTube. Period. I mean, you know more about college football. You forgot more about college football than most of us will ever know. I mean, that's just the facts. So I don't really think you're a potato, even though I do strongly think that particular take was of the potato variety.
I knew that would. I wasn't even necessarily.
I can put it.
I wasn't even necessarily thinking of you, but I knew that would rattle some people. And I think we I think we come from the same place when I'm going to say this. And correct me if we're not in the same place. Sometimes I'll give a take or a ranking or make a prediction, and people think that's kind of boring. You think what everybody else thinks, but if it's truly what I believe is going to happen, or is the truth, then you know what? It might be mainstream like everybody else. Is Nick Saban the best coach in college football? Yeah, I'm going to give that ranking. Is that boring? Yeah, I don't really have a better take than that. That's what it is. But then I'm also I'm also not afraid to say, you know what? 98% of the people think this out there, but you know what? I don't. I think this. And I don't do that just for clickbait. Whatever my opinion is, sometimes it's going to be really boring because it's going to be pretty much the status quo. And other times it's going to be way out there because for some reason I just believe something different.
Yeah. And obviously it's better for what we do to have an opinion. It's better to have an opinion that upsets people than it is to have an opinion that draws no reaction at all.
And you're the master at that.
Like saying, like making a 10-minute video where you say, I think Alabama might be pretty good this year. What? Duh. I mean, not too many, that's not really groundbreaking news to anybody. I don't know who's going to disagree with that. I don't know who really would get mad at that. Sometimes you have to do the out of the box stuff. And as long as you have some reasons or stuff to back it up,